You must stop leaning forward in life. I feel like so often people, myself included, lean forward in all that they do. Everything is always a means to an end. You're doing this so you can get that. And when doing this, you never truly are in the moment. You never truly embrace wholeheartedly, 100%, completely the moment that you are in at that time. If you are in the car driving to work, you're leaning towards work. And if you're at work and you don't really like your job, then you're leaning towards the end of the shift. And then say you like working out and you get home and then you're leaning towards the workout. And then you like, dinner, so at the end of the workout you start leaning towards dinner. And you never completely, just stand straight up. Don't lean forward, don't lean back, and just enjoy what you are doing when you are doing it. And that's no matter what you're doing. Because if you find yourself leaning forward in activities, then you're building a habit of leaning forward. And it's going to be hard to not lean forward. Even if you're in an activity that you truly do enjoy, you're going to find it hard to not lean forward because it's just such a habit you formed. It's like second nature. You're always looking forward to the next thing before you're out of the thing you're doing. And then if we look at this on a long time horizon, the scary thing is that, we lean forward in life till the end. And when you're leaning forward to the next thing, and then you realize that death is the next thing, then I can only assume that most people will pull back, and you'll live your life, hunched over, leaning forward, and then the second death is in your view, you're realizing, oh, like I can't keep leaning forward because I'm the next thing is death. Then you lean back and then you try to pump the brakes on everything and go back, but you can't. You can't go back in time, obviously. And when you lean forward, you're just leaning forward to death at the end of the day. You know, there's there's only so many experiences and so many things you can do in one life. And if you're just leaning forward to the next one, eventually you come to the end, come to death. And I can only assume that if someone who spent their whole life leaning forward gets to that position where they realize what they are leaning forward to next, they will put on the brakes and try to lean back, but it's too late. The momentum's too strong. You can't go back, and they'll find themselves that they never truly embarked in anything wholeheartedly. They never truly enjoyed anything wholeheartedly. Everything was always a means to an end. Everything was always, I'll do this to get that. It was always goal orientated instead of system orientated. You were more worried about getting your happiness from goals than getting your happiness and fulfillment from the process, because most of our life is the process, and a small, very small portion is the goal, accomplishing the goal. And you only accomplish so many goals in life, big goals. And we spend so much more time in the process, in the system, doing the thing to get us to the goal. So it's good to have goals. You need goals to, have a North Star. And when other things come, other opportunities come, you can look to your goal and be like, is this thing that I am being presented going to get me closer to my goal? And if the answer is no, then you should not go for it because you really just want to get closer to your goal. But it's not about the goal, it's about the systems and the process and the pursuit of the goal. That is where the fulfillment comes from. That is where you need to derive your happiness from and derive your satisfaction, because that is basically your life. Your life is basically the pursuit of something. And it's good, it's good to have a goal, like I was saying, because you need to know what to say yes to and what to say no to, because especially nowadays there's just so many things to say yes to. You could just sit on your phone for a whole day, and it's not that hard, or play video games all day, or do something unproductive all day without really realizing it. And if you don't have a goal to look towards to say, is this getting me closer to that, then I believe you'll have a hard time achieving anything, really, like, really big, because your energy is going to be divided too much. Multitasking is something that humans think that they have mastered. I think we believe that multitasking is something that we just do, and we do it good. We drive and listen to music, or we drive and listen to a podcast, or we are doing something with this hand while doing something with this hand, and it's working out good, and we're good at it. But it's not really so black and white, I believe, because our brain can only give so much brain power to something. And if you're giving 100% brain power to this, and then you decide to add this, and a perfect world, it's going to go 50-50. But in reality, it's probably going to be more like 70-30. And you're barely even doing this, so it's not even worth it. And you're doing 70% over here, you're giving 70% attention, but that's not really, it's almost a failing grade, essentially. But um, you need to, I think, as humans, me especially, I need to stop multitasking and just kind of focus on one thing, and realize that if I focus on too many things, my energy and my power is going to just be diverted in too many ways. And I might have, 10 different things going on, but I'm only giving 10% to them, because I only have 100% to give. So I'm only giving 10% instead of just knocking out, say, 9 of those, and then giving 100%. Or, even sometimes, you can have two things going on, obviously. And, 50-50 is better than 10% spread over across 10 different tasks. So just be wary of multitasking, but that's not the premise of this video. The premise is just leaning forward. Just, enjoy where you are when you are there, because soon enough you won't be there. And soon enough you'll probably wish you were back there. Whether that's a time in your life, a place, whatever it may be, there's probably going to be a moment where you think to yourself, well, I wish I could be back there. And you know what? I wish I enjoyed it more when I was there. I wish I wasn't on my phone so much. I wish I wasn't leaning forward to that next thing, and just took a minute and just really enjoyed it. Even if I spent 5 extra minutes doing it, what's 5 minutes in the grand scheme of a life at the end of the day? Especially when you think about how much time we truly waste on trivial things, and just things that just don't matter. And if we could just, give some extra time to being present and actually enjoying what we're doing, I think we'd get a lot of benefit out of that, and would be able to enjoy things a lot more. Because leaning forward is not the answer, and leaning back is not the answer either. I think I personally lean forward more than back, which is why I'm making this video. All these videos are essentially problems that I have, that I think I somewhat know how to solve. But I make them because, you can't be the only one struggling with these things. So, yeah, just leaning back is also a problem, though. Just looking back on the past, and looking back on, the good old days, as if, you're not currently living the quote unquote good old days of your future self 5-10 years from now. But I think more of a problem with me, and probably the rest of people, is just the fact that we lean forward so much. and that we just look forward to this task so we can get to the next task while not even realizing that the only reason we're looking forward to the next task is so we can get to the next task. And then, like I said earlier, that's just an endless train until the day we die and we try to put the brakes on. But you can't stop death. Life implies death, so we're all going to die.